This is Florian WIRTZ this season, by the way. 21 games, 14 assists. 14 assists. So, where was that website before? Yeah, in terms of goal involvements, it's 19. Right? That's just in the Bundesliga alone. This is all told, yeah? What's that? 35? That's pretty damn good, isn't it? 35 goal assists across all those tournaments. And again, don't forget, this is a man, Florian WIRTZ, that's won the Bundesliga. So does he really need to stick around in Germany and, you know, try and win it again? So he's got another trophy on his... Do you think these players live in houses with mantelpieces? I suppose they've got sideboards, right? They've got cabinets, haven't they? They've got places where they keep their keys and their wallet, you know, and all the other goods that they don't need, the luxury goods that they don't need, or probably only wear once and throw away. Disposable culture, that's what we live in these days. But don't worry about that. That's not my point. My point is, he doesn't need to prove himself because he's already won the Bundesliga. And I know it's the dream of every German footballer to want to play for Bayern Munich, but at what cost? Who are you more likely to win a Champions League with, Florian WIRTZ? You're more likely to... You're not going to win it at Leverkusen, are you? No. No. I'd like Leverkusen fans to come and prove me wrong, obviously. Let's have that kind of debate, and we can do that debate. If not in the comment section, then preferably we do it in our Discord, where we've only got 3 rules. No religion, no politics, and we laugh together, basically. Are you all confident that Bayern will sign Florian WIRTZ this summer? And the answer is no. It's not going to happen. Right, for a start, where's it gone? These 2 characters have fallen out. Publicly, this guy... CEO of Leverkusen has said to old sparkly pant man, if you want him, come and name me your price. Come and name me a price. Make me an offer, like any transaction, right? So I'll come back here. Like a transaction. If I'm selling this chair, which I am, by the way, because it belongs to my fucking evil mother, and I don't want it in this house, and I wanted it in the first place, in case you happen to be randomly watching, if you can figure out how to use the internet. I don't want this chair, right? So I'm putting it on the marketplace for £25, €28. You're not coming from Europe to get this chair, so don't worry about that. I want to sell this chair. I want to put it on Facebook Marketplace. Other marketplaces are available, but not for me. It's gone on Facebook Marketplace for £25 or nearest offer. Give me an offer then. Make me an offer. But if you make me an offer of £19, you can go and fuck yourself. Even though I want to get rid of it because it belongs to my evil mother. That's still not right, is it? Still, that's like a slap in the face with a wet fish. I won't take that offer. And that's pretty much what's gone on here. He said to the other guy, no, that takes the piss. But this is what Munich do, right? So this is why they're called FC Hollywood, because they stir it up every year, every season, probably every day, right? With their clever... tactical publicity espionage. This is what they can do. When you're €1 billion revenue club per year, you can afford to do that. You can afford to pay off some... So I should be giving you some... You can afford to pay off some informants, can't you? Just go and plant that news story. Here's a brown envelope, or pick it up from one of those deposit boxes in Zurich. Yeah, you might have to go across the border, but it's fine because it's Europe, innit? We're not European anymore. Do we care? No. What do we care about? The Bundesliga and the impact that it will have if Florian WIRTZ checks out of Leverkusen. Now, he's already said, hasn't he, just like his manager, Xabi Alonso, well, this was last season, he said, I'll give it one more year. Well, that year's not quite... Well, technically it's a season, right? But I suppose they had that conversation in July, August of 24. This last year's not quite gone to plan, is it? I mean, again, like, just... Props to them, right? There were one game, 3 goals from was it Lookman? Not Lookman Dembele. We can look it up, can't we? There we are. Ademola. I was in my head. I was thinking, it can't be Ademola, can it? Because Dele Alli is checked out. Anyway, this man here, he scored a hat trick, or if not, he scored a brace in that final of the Europa League, which was the one blemish on the entire invincible season for Bayer Leverkusen. Only the third, I know we said 2 the other day on the stream, only the third team that we know about. And we're nearly 44 years of age. Only the third team in the history of football, recorded, written down, data, that's gone invincible in an entire season. You know, Arsenal did it in 2004. We did the league and the cup double, in 2002. I say we because we are closet gooners. There's signs fucking everywhere, by the way. Like, that's not a Benfica top. And neither is that Real Madrid. Remember Dora the Explorer? Dora the Explorer. Swipey, no swipey. You know, when you have to, you get a choice of 3. Anyway, there's fucking clues everywhere that we're closet Arsenal fans. Anyway, where was we going with all this? Look, man, yeah, Invincibles. 1 game away from not just a domestic meisterschale, lifting the old salad ball, wrestling it out of the hands of Manuel Neuer and Muller and other players that were in that squad from that year. Coman, Fonzie Davis, people like that. Gnabry, Sane, Musiala, all those co. If I thought of Musiala on the spot, it would have been alliterated, and that would have been genius. Anyway, 1 game away from being from it being a complete amazing Invincible season, but it didn't happen. So where did we go? We come back to, he's not there now, is he? He's disappeared. He's in the wrong window. Where's he gone? This man here, Fernando Caro. Basically, it's not an ultimatum, but he's saying to this man with his shiny pants, if you want our star playmaker, make me a price, but don't embarrass yourself. Because that deal's not going to happen. Right, so that's the first reason that we don't think he'll go, because those 2 executives don't like each other. There's some salt in their mouth. And that's not because of some sort of weird OnlyFans-esque misdemeanor or debauchery that you can do in cities like Berlin and in Hamburg. Check out the Reeperbahn, by the way. If you can afford to lose yourself in the Reeperbahn, we highly recommend it. If not for a weekend, just do it for a few hours. It's worth it. I couldn't say I'm speaking from experience because that'll be for legal reasons. We're not gonna say that. Right, that's the first reason. The second reason, and this is coming here, right? This is quite fascinating. This is Munich's transfers over the last few seasons. As you can see, right, they tend to make a hallmark transfer every season, right? There's usually a hallmark transfer that's above the €50 million mark. Okay, the season that we're in now, there was 2, right? It was Michael Olise from Palace, which again, we spent time with some Crystal Palace fans on the weekend, but fuck me, they didn't know who Joel Ward was, right? And I'm showing you that because we do open stickers on live streams. So feel free to like and subscribe, because then you would know when those videos are going live. Remember going live? Philip Schofield, Sarah Green, and I want to say it was Gordon the Gopher. I don't think it was Ed the Duck, because he was with Andy Peters in a broom cupboard that was probably about this space. If you live down the south, if you live in somewhere very expensive, then you probably do live in, effectively, Andy Peters' broom cupboard. If you do happen to live in Andy Peters' broom cupboard, let us know. Put a comment in the section down below. Anyway, we spent time with Palace fans who didn't have a fucking Scooby-Doo who Joel Ward was. He's the captain, we found out subsequently, by the way, and he's been captain for the last 2 seasons. If you've ever seen Joel Ward play, if you've ever been to see Palace play, if you're a season ticket holder, if you're a football tourist and you've seen this man play, let us know what it was like. Back on point. That's a snitch. You know, that's an absolute snitch for a guy that's got, was checking out the goal involvements before, across Europe and in the Bundesliga. Look at that. 19 goal involvements, 8 of his own, 11 assists. And if that guy had a right foot, fuck me, Munich would still be in the Champions League and would have probably battered Frank Schmidt's Heidenheim 5-6-7-8-0 if he'd have had a right foot. He does have a right foot, because if he didn't, he'd be going around in circles. He'd be on the floor, wouldn't he? He'd be on the floor, go around in circles. Maybe like me, maybe like you, we're not professional footballers. Our right leg is for standing, because that's how we conquer gravity. Anyway. Right, so these are these are hallmark signings, right? I guess you kind of, my point is, or our point is, Florian WIRTZ is the price on his head set by this guy. I think he's actually got there's a release clause in in Florian WIRTZ's contract for like 150 million euro, but they're willing to negotiate. Again, this man here said he was willing to negotiate. Can we see an actual picture of him? Yeah, rather than that one. There you are. Whoa, okay. Okay, stick a syrup on that. At least put a hat on. You know, there's probably some in the club shop, you know, because you sign off on it. Anyway, there he is. Looks happy, doesn't he? Old Fernando Caro. Been there since 2018. He's saying, right, go on then, you. It's got to be close to. It's got to be a realistic offer. Make me an offer I can't refuse. Well, that would probably end up with both facing jail time. Right, so that was that season. Season before should be Harry Kane. Right, we got some of the fastest internet in the whole of the country. It's fucking letting me down here, isn't it? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. Right. So they spent big on Harry Kane, right? So again, the argument we're trying to make here is that most seasons is at least one, if not two. There's one hallmark signing, and there's somebody else, and then they might, you know, a bit like spread. I suppose football is spread betting in a way, isn't it? In it. I went all posh there, isn't it? They put little bets down. You know, I say little bets. It's still 30 million on Sacha Boey. That bet, it feels like it hasn't paid off. If you're a Munich fan, if you're Liam or Ahmed Zia from Zia Talks, or the other guy who's a Juve fan, whose name I should really lock in, but I don't. He's got a mouth on him, but he's young. He's a Juventus fan, really, but he gets stuck into Liam's the Bayern view when they do their emergency meetings or their watch-alongs. And don't forget Strasbourg Steve, still the best nickname I've heard in quite a while. He probably is from Strasbourg, I don't know, but I'd love to know the origin, the OG story behind that. It's a fucking great nickname. Strasbourg. People, clubs, like, forget this man. They're the outlier, right? This guy and probably the other 16 clubs in the Bundesliga don't spend big, right? They don't spend big. They're quite conservative, you know. This is a country that... let's not get too political, because we say, don't we, in our own Discord that we don't do politics, but yeah, people, they mend and make do, and they might sign a lot of diamonds in the rough. I mean, Leverkusen have done it in the past, right? They've gone off and they've found some stars, because they've got scouts. All these clubs got scout networks around the world. The point is, though, it's a lot of money, isn't it, to spend on one or two players, and that tends to be how it works. So if we look back at this season, well, we saw, didn't we, Michael Elise, right? For Harry Kane, for the money they spent on Harry Kane, you can get two Michael Elises. Which, imagine that, left and right wing with Musiala in a minute. I'm sure they would take that, Munich fans. Again, please let us know, either in the comment section down below or let us know on Discord. You would take that, wouldn't you? And Elise left and right, which would imply that if he was inverted, he would have a left foot and a right foot. Play him on the opposite wings, right? Inside forward style, which is what's happening, I suppose. That's number one. Cliche bell. It's a lot of money, so it doesn't feel like he's going there. We don't know who else they've got lined up, do we? Because again, there's 4 games to go in the Bundesliga season. It is silly season, I guess, going into the Club World Cup. But it's this window where a lot of Bundesliga clubs are going to be buying and trading players. And just like that, the management merry-go-round's going to be taking rides, right? People are going to be buying tickets soon for that. Which also links back nicely into Xabi Alonso. Where's he going? Again, that same man with the shiny head has issued almost a decree, not to Munich, because he's not going to manage Munich, is he? Because despite what people might or might not think or like or rate, the big-brained one that is Vincent Kompany, he is going to win the league for Bayern Munich, and they have equalled last year's points tally, and this guy's Leverkusen team have fluffed their lines, right? So we can Leverkusen write it off this season. You know, it didn't work out, did it? It's not worked out. It's hard though, isn't it? Like in music, it's hard to write that second album and achieve the same success that you got by being raw, by being scrappy, by being yourself, by being authentic, by not being afraid to expose who you truly are. That's your first album. The second album, it's just difficult, isn't it? Living up to those stats. Unless you're the Beatles, the Stones, Pulp. It's hard, right? And that's what's happened to Leverkusen. So for the third term, or the third year, when hopefully you've got another record contract, what happens, right? Because Xabi Alonso could end up going to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid and Carlo the Don Ancelotti has pretty much said that, you know, I'll be out of here. Carlo Ancelotti responds to rumours he may leave Real Madrid after Arsenal. He doesn't care, does he? Like, he's the fucking Don. Last season they won La Liga and the Champions League, right? He's proved himself. He's getting on. He probably wants to put his feet up. It doesn't matter to him, and he said that. And I suppose that comes with age, right? That ability to go, do you know what? I don't give a shit. I've either done it before, or even then I've got close to it. It doesn't matter. I've got my family. I want to spend time with my familia. My familia. That's what he wants to do. That is the next point, and is that if Xabi Alonso goes to Real Madrid, then how likely are we to see Florian WIRTZ go with? He's more likely, by him, Florian WIRTZ, to win a Champions League if he goes to Real Madrid. So, but if he goes to Real Madrid, right, he's got to get in that. How's he going to get in that lineup? Because, no, I didn't mean Real Madrid. There's Real Madrid, right. If I come down here and we see the squad list, right? Oh, actually, it was probably easy to look at it there. Look. That was the last match that Real Madrid played. That was their lineup. You got even Mbappe wasn't in there. Florian WIRTZ, I think we'll all agree, is a number 10. He's a playmaker. He's an attacking midfielder. Even though Jude Bellingham is obsessed with number 6, and we like that, I suppose when you're that famous and that talented and have achieved that much at such a young age, you can fucking stick whatever number you want on the back. Florian WIRTZ would have to come in and fight for his place alongside Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and an Mbappe, right? So I suppose that then comes down to ego. Now, if you're part of the Florian WIRTZ family, or the familia, and I heard this comment made by Stefan and Manu on the Gegenpressing pod, two very high IQ people that cover the Bundesliga and football in general day in, day out, because Stefan is lead content data analyst, or just lead content, whatever buzz term it counts as a project manager for transfermarket.com. These are knowledgeable people. They made the point that their family, from a commercial point of view, probably wouldn't want to go to Munich. We're coming back to Munich again, because they've already got Jamal Musiala. If you go to Real Madrid, you're not going to be top boy, are you? Right? Somebody else is going to be there, and it's going to affect your commercial viability, your attractiveness. Now, bearing in mind, there's a World Cup next year, right? World Cup going off in, is it USA, Canada, Mexico. Now, he already plays alongside Musiala in for the Mineshaft, right? So they're already buddies there. Although, again, out of the two, and this isn't me, you know, I'm no oil painting, although Terry Streeter quite likes it, and I'm sure my girlfriend does. And Gonzo's not got any problems with it, and he looks at it every day. The two, out of the two, the more attractive is more likely to be Jamal Musiala. And he's more likely to get in that first team, right, at Munich. So, Florian WIRTZ, what do you do if you're Florian WIRTZ then? I tell you where you could go, and this is, I suppose we've been building towards this point. Kevin De Bruyne is not getting a contract extension at Manchester City. And who's the most natural player on the planet right now to fill that role? It's Florian WIRTZ. You know, all right, Manchester's not Munich. That's got a sort of tiny German quarter, and I'm sure there are some expats from Germany living in Manchester. It's too big a city for me. It's not for me. It's not for us, is it, Gonzo? No, we prefer Liverpool. Anyway, the most appropriate club right now for Florian WIRTZ is more likely Manchester City. He's a direct fit. It's like taking out one peg and putting in another. It's perfectly round, and he's younger. And again, as Manchester City have proved with their transfer business over the winter period, and we can do that here. Thanks to Stefan. Manchester City. We can look here, look. Oh, transfers. I could have done it from that screen. See, look at all these young signings that have come in. Mamouche is 25. Nico Gonzalo's 23. All right, I'm not sure Kusinov's working out yet. Stick him out on loan and see how he gets on. But to be fair to Pep, you know, the sort of the other special one, if you like, rubbing that genie-type head of his. It's not really worked, does it, for Kusinov? But again, to his credit, he did throw him into the first team. Vitor Rise is 19. Savinho's 20. Again, there's my point. All right, ignore Gundogan because he was just trying to fill a goal and we're trying to live for nostalgia. We're all living for nostalgia, aren't we? And that is why we spend the time opening stickers. Treats this as a live stream. And again, we did another reaction video to everything that happened on match day 30, and we managed to make, I made a cerebral link from Darude Sandstorm to Mahmoud Dahoud, who, yes, in this sticker, he was playing for Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League, but in the current day, he plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, he plays for United Frankfurt, he plays for Frankfurt, but we went from Darude to Dahoud, off the top of my dome. Right, again, the point here, Manchester City are investing in the future. Kevin De Bruyne is out and he's gutted, as you would be. You know. He's not staying though. He's out. Who's coming in? Our money is on Florian WIRTZ. It's not too dissimilar. Manchester to Munich. Possibly his money will go a little bit further. Although you've got to be careful with your council tax because you fucking lied to us, Keir Starmer, didn't you? You lied to us. You have put pennies, pounds more, in fact. I've put pounds on after Easter, sort of. You put pounds on our fucking councillor tax and everything else because you lied to us. All politicians lie to us, don't they? Everybody lies to us. Anyway, that's why it's safe in a Discord. Because you're with like-minded people where you can banter, where you can laugh with each other, where there's no religion, there's no politics. Join our Discord. That'll be fun, won't it? And we can do this every single day. Anyway, come back to the top. For our money, he's not staying at Leverkusen. He's off ski. He's off ski to Manchester. To the blue half, the sky blue, pale blue, pastel blue half of Manchester. That's where he's going. For how much, we don't know. This is all conjecture, innit? It's a bit of fun. You know, a bit of fun based on a little bit of data. He ain't going to buy Munich because the two CEOs don't like each other. Plus, it feels like Munich have got somebody else lined up to come in to back up Harry Kane. The attacking midfield, by the way, as hopefully everyone from the Bayern view, maybe Danny. Oh, Danny boy. Maybe Dishy Danny from Milwaukee on the Always Buying Chelsea show. You're not bad yourself, Jim. Not bad yourself, son. You talk sense. I think Danny's going to be asked to do more of those photo shoots than yourself. Again, this is the only face I've got, Jim. Do you know what I mean? It's the only face I've got. And I'm clinging on to this hair because the minute that goes, I'll probably go as well. Might have to put an edit in there. I don't want to fall out with you, Jim. You talk a lot of sense. Any Americans that like football as passionate as you and Danny do is brilliant. Anyway, back to Dishy Danny. If you want to make a comment, he's not going to Munich because Munich are going to bring somebody else in because that's my point. They're attacking midfielders. You've got enough options. You've got enough people there. You've got Coman. You've got Sane, you've got Gnabry who's peak brav. Birthday boy Liam on the weekend, peak brav. He's peak. We're seeing Gnabry back to his peak. He's 2020 peak. Look at that goal, that assist for Conrad Lima. Again, anyone that's called Conrad, you spell it with a K. Oh, heart melts. You know, again, ex-RB Leipzig. Marco Rosa, fucking smart. Wasn't he? Smart bloke. Bought Marcus Thuram to the Bundesliga when he was at Gladbach. Smart guy, Marco Rosa. Didn't work out. Fucking awful year in the Champions League for Leipzig. But they'll be back. Where they're going to finish, though, you should check out that video because that's part of our prediction. Anyway, the autism's dragged us way outside the swimming lane. In fact, it's time to pack up, get out the pool, shower, get changed, and go home and get some protein because this swimming pool's about to shut for business.